What's up guys, Tihus here with a new deck. This is based on LeBlanc's Synchro Fusionist Turbo. I'll link a deck profile that the card guys did of it. But I realised as I was watching it that he didn't really utilise Brilliant Fusion to its fullest extent. So I thought I'd build a deck that tried to utilise Brilliant Fusion's effect more, because a lot of people just use it as, you know, getting a double summon and a level 5 monster and a trick clown or a damage juggler search. So I thought Gem Knight's an effect when they're sent, so I'll try and use that. So this is Knight Synchro. First up we've got 2 Galaxy Serpent. It is a level 2 light normal tuner. That's all it's here for. Then we have Water Spirit, which is a level 1 aqua tuner. That's a normal monster, and that's why that's here. You'll see why that's important in a minute. Then we have 1 Gem Knight Garnet. Gem Knight Garnet is here because I run Knight Expect to Die, and sometimes I don't want a tuner, I want a non-tuner, so having a non-tuner available is pretty good, and it's 1900 attack and Gem Knight monster, so I can send it with Brilliant Fusion if I want to / need to, but normally I don't. And then we've got 2 Gem Knight Obsidian. This is here for discard fodder, basically. If it gets sent from the hand to the graveyard, I can special summon a non-monster from the graveyard, so sometimes I can use it, but not all that often, so if you want to use this deck, I'd suggest maybe replacing one of them with something else. 3 Gem Knight Lazuli. Lazuli is such an amazing card in the deck. It's a really good card in general, but in this deck it's like the main card that one of the main cards that we focused on, because you send it with Brilliant Fusion, so you can go Brilliant Fusion, send either Galaxy Serpent and Lazuli or Water Spirit and Lazuli, and then you get a Fusion monster and you get a tuner to hand, so it's like makes Brilliant Fusion a 1-card synchro, which is pretty good. So this is the main Gem Knight you send with Brilliant Fusion, and yeah. But the main card of the main deck that is most important, if there is one, is Synchro Fusionist. Synchro Fusionist's effect is, if this card is sent to the graveyard for a Synchro summon, you can add a spell card from your deck to your hand that has Fusion or Polarization in the name. So normally we'd search Brilliant Fusion, or Instant Fusion, or Refusion, or sometimes even Gem Knight Fusion. So this is the card you want to focus on. Like, if you get this, you get some crazy combos off, and I mean, like, you get stupid good players. So run 3 of that because we want to see it as much as possible. Then we've got 2 Gamma Seal the Sea Turtle Kaiju. You might think this is a really odd choice, but in the game at the moment, a lot of people rely on monster floodgates, so like Cyber Dragon Infinity or Naturia Beast. Like, Naturia Beast kills this deck because you really do rely a lot on spells. So this isn't out like Nat Beast or Cyber Dragon Infinity. Also, it is an aqua monster, so it can be used as fusion material for Gem Knight Amethyst. Also, it's water, and so it could be revived by a Cradle Dragon. So that's why I run 2. And it also has the lowest attack of any kaiju, so it's easier to beat over than any others, so that's why we run it. 1 Effect Veiler. It is good for disrupting your opponent. It's also tuner level 1, and it's also a light monster for Seraphonite. So, I mean, it's kind of useful sometimes, but you don't want to draw it too often because it can be dead, so that's why we run it 1. 1 Jet Synchron. It is a level 1 tuner that revives itself and can trigger Obsidian sometimes. And yeah, it's just really good because it's a level 1 self-reviving tuner, and sometimes you even get a Junk Synchron search of it. So we run 1 Junk Synchron. Junk Synchron is pretty good in the deck. It revives Synchro Fusionist, so you can Synchro with it and get a Fusion search. You can revive Lazuli and get a level 4 Synchro if you just have its own. You can also go like Brilliant Fusion, send Lazuli, and Galaxy Serpent, Galaxy Serpent, normal summon Junk Synchron, and Synchro for 9, so Trishula, so that's pretty good. But you could probably change Obsidian for a Junk Synchron. This is still a work in progress, so, you know, I just thought I'd share it with you as I'm building it. Next up we have a Glow Bulb, another self-reviving level 1 tuner. 1 Mathematician dumps cards you need, so it can trigger Lazuli sometimes, it can set up a Jet Synchron or a Glow Bulb, it can set up a Synchro Fusionist to be revived, it can do all sorts. That's why it's at 1 really. Because, you know, it was too good for the game at 3, so they just cut it down in the ban list. 1 Raigeki for field clearance. Foolish Burial sets up your graveyard for other things. If you can't draw a Mathematician, this is a good alternative. 1 for 1. Searches out a level 1 tuner, normally. So you normally search out Jet Synchron or Glow Bulb. Just swaps the monster around and gets another tuner out your deck, so that's really good. 1 Soul Charge makes big comeback graveyard plays. You know, if you have a lot of cards in your graveyard, you can just Soul Charge it back and just get massive amounts of advantage. It's just really stupid. That's why it's limited. 3 Unexpected Die. Its effect is, if you control no monsters, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower normal monster from your deck. Normally you'd summon out a tuner if you need it, or sometimes even Garnet if you want a non-tuner. It just basically makes your synchro plays easier, adds a lot of consistency. There's like a lot of combos that you can do with Unexpected Die. I'll be making a video tomorrow on the combos of the deck, because it is very thought intensive and doesn't make a lot of sense on first glance. One, Gem Knight Fusion. It's searchable by Synchro Fusionist. It's a brilliant discard fodder because you can just get it back with its effect and just keep adding it back. So it's good discard fodder for like Twin Twister or Jet Synchron, or it even like helps you if you draw like a pretty bad hand. Say you draw like a Gem Knight, a Light Monster, and a Gem Knight Fusion. You can still make plays because that's not like if you don't draw into like Instant Fusion or Brilliant Fusion, then it's still Fusion that you can do. So that's pretty good. I only run one though because it can be a dead draw quite often. 3 Instant Fusion, 30,000, get a Norden, get a Special Summon. You know, Norden is too good, and it's searchable by Synchro Fusionist, so that's really 3. 3 Brilliant Fusion, 1 card Synchro in the deck. You can make a level 7 or 8 tuner just by having this card. It's just stupid. It's like interaction between Lazuli and the normal tuners is why I built the deck, because it's just a really good card, and again, crazy combos can be had. The combo video will be coming out tomorrow. 3 Twin Twister for back row clearance. This deck really is affected by disruption. Like, if your players get disrupted, then the deck sort of dies. So you want to get rid of the back row, and it's pendulum format, so it gets rid of both scales at once. So that's really good. Refusion, pay 800 and special summon a fusion monster from your graveyard. So normally you revive a Norden and then get another special summon and synchro again. You can also search it with Synchro Fusionist. Run it at 2. 3 might be a dead draw because you need a fusion in the grave to use it, obviously, and you don't want to have like no fusion in the grave and just draw a dead draw refusion. And then 1 Solemn, you could probably cut this deck OTKs like a boss. This is just in case your OTK doesn't go off, you have some sort of like backup plan, but you could probably cut it for something else. Then onto the extra deck, we have 1 Gem Knight Amethyst. It's a level 7 Aqua monster. Its effect is, if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, return all set spell or trap cards your opponent controls to the hand. This is how you make a level 8 synchro. You send Lazuli and Water Spirit with Brilliant Fusion, you special summon Amethyst, you normal summon the Water Spirit, which gets added back to your hand by the Lazuli effect, and then you go into a level 8. So it has kind of a cool interaction with Cypher Omega because, you know, it bounces their spells and traps, and then it gives you stuff that you can banish with Omega if you need stuff to do with that. Also makes your players safer in the future, so if you go off on a big play and you like Giant Tornado all of their back row, they can't respond to it. Which is important in a game where there's like 3 solemn strikes. 2 Gem Knight Seraphonite, double summon in a body, you know. This is how you make the level 7 synchro. You send Lazuli and Galaxy Serpent, add back Galaxy Serpent with Lazuli, normal summon Galaxy Serpent, make a level 7 synchro. I run 2 just in case I need to go into 2. Normally you don't, so you could probably cut it down to 1. 2 Norden. Norden is just the most ridiculous instant fusion target. I mean, like, it's a 1 card synchro sometimes, and it just makes stupid good plays, and it's just, you know, a +1 on summon. So you run it at 2, because you sometimes need it at 2, but normally you need it at 1. Tatsunoku. Tatsunoku is a level 3 synchro that's a tuner, and you can synchro from your hand with it, so it works with Obsidian, which is kind of hilarious, but normally you'd use it to just go into big synchro plays. It is a staple at 1, so don't think about cutting this because it is necessary. Herald of the Arclight, for a level 4 synchro target, can disrupt your opponent if you need it to, and can protect you if you're trying to go for game and they try and drop a jab and struggle, you can just negate it. And yeah, it's just good disruption and a level 4 synchro monster, so you need a level 4 synchro for the have all the levels, so that's your good target. TG Hyper Librarian, it's a synchro deck, you know, you're going to get pluses for days of this. Like, you summon this and then you just keep drawing every time you make a synchro, and then you can extend your players by stuff you draw into, and you just keep going like that, and it's just stupid. You can just generate so much advantage with it. That's obviously why it got limited, because of like plan format and stuff, if anyone remembers that. Vulcan the Divine is my level 6. I run this because I just thought it was a decent level 6. It used to be a lot slower, the deck, before I tweaked it a bit, so normally I'd be able to bounce Brilliant Fusion for a next turn, but this deck can TK like crazy now, so you can swap it for another level 6 if you want. I like Vulcan because it's field disruption and it allows you to get your attacks in and stuff like that. Then we've got 2 level 7s because level 7s are easy to make in this deck. We've got Yazi because it can't be targeted by card effects, and you know, it's a good card. 2 600 attack. There are some decks you just get out against it and they're just like, well, what do I do now? So Yazi's really good. Moonlight Black Rose Dragon. I run this with field disruption to get my attacks in, and it also has nice interactions with the kaijus. Gamma Seal, and yeah, it's just a pretty good level 7 target. I sometimes wish I had Black Rose. You can swap it for Black Rose if you want, but I kind of like Moonlight Rose Dragon. 1 Greydle Dragon. Bit of an odd choice. It requires an Aqua Tuner and a 1/1 non-tuner monsters. It has 3,000 attack, and when it's synchro summoned, you can destroy cards on the field up to the number of water synchro materials you used to summon this card. So normally, Brilliant Fusion, Amethyst, add back Water Spirit, and also Water Spirit, synchro for 8, pop a card. I like this because it can go after back row if you want it to, you can go after Pendulum Scales. You can occasionally get it off with 2 pops, but that's very rare. And it also has a floating effect, which is pretty good, and it can bring stuff back like Trishula, so why wouldn't I run 1? Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend. This is good because it can wipe your opponent's field. It's a 3,000 attacking monster. It inflicts burn damage. It's just really, really good. So, one of him. Cypherim Omega. This is one of the most hyped synchro monsters of recent times. You know, you can banish your... You can, like, dodge effects, and it can, like, handle it. The original deck hand looped your opponent using Cypherim Omega, so you could potentially build the extra deck to do that. I like to OTK, so I just go for the big boss beat sticks. So Cypherim Omega is just really good, so I run 1. And it can also recycle things like Jet Synchron, and it can just disrupt your opponent so much. And 1 Trish, because every synchro deck needs to make Trish to be any good. In my opinion, like, it was sort of proved when it was around the first time, like, any deck that can make Trish basically won. I mean, it's a +2 on summon, and it's just really good. I mean, you Trish your opponent and the game just turns around to your favour. And this deck can make Trish in so many different ways. Right? Why wouldn't I run 1? But yeah, this is the deck profile. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment section down below. And if you like this video, please like, favorite, comment, subscribe. Do remember I'm making a combo video on this tomorrow, so if you have any questions about combos, this should be answered tomorrow. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, please like, favorite, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later.